Why do you need a permanent makeup correction? Each procedure performed in our studio is an individual approach, which consists in the right choice of color, shape, and permanent makeup technique. At the same time, behind all the complexity of the artist process, there is an equally complex process of applying permanent makeup. It's no secret that our body, and the skin in particular, protects us from infections. The fact is that the skin is a barrier, protective organ. Particles of paint that enter the skin, our body perceives as a foreign body and therefore tries to get rid of the introduced pigment. It is difficult for the master to predict how much pigment the skin will push out. In some cases, after the skin regeneration, 40% of the applied pigment remains. In others, 60%. It depends on immunity, age, lifestyle, and post-procedural care. Correction is a method of adjusting the saturation of the pigment shade and the shape of permanent makeup. At the primary procedure, the master works very carefully, because the main task is not to harm. Therefore, as a precaution, the pigment is introduced as specifically as possible, because if it is placed at the wrong depth, this is fraught with unpredictable color changes. In each case, the depth of pigment immersion is individual and depends on the characteristics on the skin. At the correction, the master makes a decision to choose a different shade of pigment or just the same one more saturated. In this way, the desired color can be reproduced most accurately. During regeneration, the pigment may go unevenly, and as a result, asymmetry may appear. At the next procedure, the master will correct everything, finish painting in those places where the skin has pushed out the pigment, by performing a permanent makeup procedure in 2 steps. You can more accurately reproduce the desired shade, obtain the required degree of brightness, edit the shape or remove the gaps that have arisen during the healing process. Correction is a careful attitude to the client because the rule applies during the primary procedure: do not overdo it. Because changing the shade and making the eyebrows, for example, brighter, longer, and wider is possible in the correction, but vice versa, it is already much more difficult. Follow our post-procedure care recommendations, come for a correction, and you will get exactly the result you dreamed of.